about that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Evaluation question 3. What have you learnt from your audience feedback? I collected my initial audience feedback during the pre-production stages of this project. I did this on a website called eserve.org and then linked to this survey via links on my personal Facebook and Twitter. This meant I was definitely reaching my target audience. The purpose of these questionnaires was to allow me to see what my audience liked and desired. The first thing I learnt from this feedback is that 89% of those surveyed said they watch music videos weekly. Hence, my audience must be frequently exposed to music videos, so making mine as effective as possible is really essential. I also learnt that YouTube was the most popular platform, with 93% of all those who watch music videos watching them on YouTube. This meant I designed my music video to be placed on YouTube. Hence, I included the end advert for the digipack itself. My post-production feedback also revealed my audience liked this feature, as it allowed them to know when the album was out. Another thing my initial feedback taught me was that my audience liked the idea of having new and interesting things. When asked why, they said that there are very many current music videos out there and there's often a chance of repetition, so something new and exciting would be very welcome. This led to me doing the point of view that I did all the way through. By having it entirely point of view, it's something I've never really come across very much, meaning I was filling the gap in the market. I also asked them about relating to music videos. To this I got a mixed response. 46% of people said it didn't bother if they couldn't relate to the product. 15% however said they had to be able to relate. Another 34% said they would prefer to relate. The remaining 5% selected the other option, meaning that they could fill in the box with their own opinions. The main response I kind of got from this was if they wanted to relate, they had to relate fully, or they didn't want to bother relating at all. It had to be something they aspired to be or aspired to achieve, like an idealistic lifestyle. From these statistics, I decided to make sure my target audience definitely related to my music video. This meant I had to keep including all of my young characters, all the locations young people are able to go to, and the lifestyle that a young person would have. By having a point of view as well, I'm also making sure that my video is relatable and it could actually be them who are participating in the video. Another really interesting thing I learned from this is that young people aren't really aware of how the media works, and the fact that making something relatable to an audience makes it more attractive to them, so they're more likely to buy or engage in the product. Another thing I asked about on my survey was the breakdown of music videos themselves, whether people liked a concept narrative or performance music video. The main response I got from this was mixed. Again, people preferred narrative or performance. There were a few that said a combined one. When asked why, people filled in the box saying that they like narrative because it makes the video more visually stimulating, and performance because it allows them to really connect with the artist. During my production stages, I got together a focus group of my media course peers. This meant I could get critical feedback from my target audience, not just feedback from the audience in general. The first thing that they said about my video is that I needed to increase the pace of my cuts, so I reduced the shot length where applicable and to help increase the pace more. Another student suggests that I increase the fix and enhancements that I had on my videos, so I increased the exposure and made the blue tint more prominent. 33% of this focus group also said I needed to increase the proportion of the video that was performance. It was too much narrative in their opinion. I feel this reiterated to me the importance of making sure that my audience could relate to my artist and that they feel reachable. Without that reachable aspect, I don't think people would actually invest in the products. So once my video was complete, I put out another online survey and asked a few people in person. A number of comments I got were related to the cuts and the pace, which people liked. Now it was a lot faster and kept it going, and there was always something new happening within the videos. They also thought the point of view was effective and fresh. They felt like it could have actually been them in the music video. Someone said my music video looked like a real music video, which was very, very excellent to hear. And a couple of them said it was just straight out good and they liked it. One of my media classmates actually said the blur was really, really effective in that it really enhanced the mood of the drunkenness. So all in all, the whole of this video feedback has taught me the importance of getting the audience input throughout. I feel like my music video would have been a very, very different product from what it would have been if I didn't listen to what my peers had to say. So yeah, listen to your audience feedback. And actually conduct some audience feedback in the first place. I feel I can also conclude from my feedback that my video construction was effective and to a high standard and worked for my audience. I received very little negative feedback, a couple of things on the blurriness of the shots, but I don't think they realised that was intentional, and the fact that the house party scene was very dark. So, all success there. Moving on to the digipack. On my eserve.org, I asked people what they found attractive about a digipack and what would make them want to buy it. 81% of people surveyed said a digipack has to be unique or stand out in order for them to be attracted to it if it wasn't from an artist they already knew. 40% thought it was very necessary, that it was well composed, and that there was no features that were too large or too small or even missing from the digipack. 90% said it had to be colourful in order to catch their eye so they would be known to buy it, and 13% said they preferred the artist on the cover. From this little bit of feedback, I learned that it was very important to be creative and to make sure I grabbed my audience's attention. Now onto the back of the digipack. Again, I asked them what needed to be on the back of a digipack, and 100% of my audience, no surprise, said a track list. I've also learned that there's a mixed opinion on what other content should be in the back of a digipack. A lot of people said they don't need the artist name because it's on the front, and why would they need it on the back as repetition. Again, they showed very little awareness to me as to how the media industry works, because if you repeat something again and again, it's a better marketing tool. I also asked people what they liked on the middle pages of a digipack. To this, people were a lot less opinionated. It's not really too important to them what's on the inside. Maybe some pictures and images and further graphics, but other than that, as long as there's a CD, they didn't really care. I felt this gave me a lot of freedom to be creative, which I really liked, and it also showed me that, to be honest, it's only the outer packaging that people look at and the actual product that they're buying, the CDs. That's fair enough. After making my first draft of my digipack, I asked a few of my media peers again what they thought I should do to improve. Many of them said that I needed to make my hand bigger, and to me that kind of implied that my audience think that the central element of a digipack is the most important, because that's the thing they will look for if they see an advert anywhere online. At this point, I hadn't added the lyrics to the horizon of the central plates, and my audience said that they thought it would be quite nice if they saw some lyrics somewhere. So rather than include a big chunk of lyrics, I would be subtle. My feedback up to this point kind of taught me that my target audience liked my use of colours and different shapes, as it was a bit new and fresh, and because quite a lot of the alternative scene are going into the darker album covers at the moment. Once I finished my final digipack, I got a eserve.org questionnaire together again. The main thing I got was 95% thought my hand was very memorable, so my product should make a lasting effect on my audience. They said it's the sort of symbol that a band can use again and again and again, as long as there are different backgrounds, different variations of it. It would be something that could last a few albums' time. On my online questionnaire, I asked people to watch the video and then view the digipack. They did say that they saw the clear links between my digipack and the music video, especially with the beach. A further 40%, when asked to add their own comment regarding the digipack, said edgy and unique. This kind of proved that my audience do like the new things, and the style of the digipack that I created obviously goes down with my audience. The final question I asked regarding my digipack was the straight out question: would you buy this product? To which 4 out of 5 people said yes. So through the whole of my digipack feedback, I could say that it has taught me that I have done a proficient job at my digipack, and it is effective and believable. Okay, moving on to my magazine advert, which again I collected my initial feedback online. To the question, what do you look for in a good advert in a magazine, people would say it has to be bold. When asked why, respondents said it was so they didn't avoid missing it if they were just passing by quickly. As the magazine advert was for the digipack itself, people like convention said that the advert has to be really, really explicitly for the digipack when they made it, so you could easily identify the digipack when they were buying it if they saw that advertisement. Furthermore, on my online survey, I asked people a question in which they should rank the importance of various elements of a magazine advert, and 92% of people, surprisingly, said that they look for a critic rating, which is a lot higher than I anticipated. On a side note, once I completed my ad, 82% of people picked up on the rating that I added, and they said they would buy it based on their LME ratings. Successful. The audience said they also significantly favour the album artist name over the actual album name, which again really quite surprised me, because they said that the artist title was bigger than they knew if it was the sort of music they would like, which made it more easy for them to decide whether they should consider buying the product. During the construction of my magazine advert, I got my media group back together as a focus group and asked them what they thought. To be honest, this wasn't very useful, as people had very little to say. I think this is probably because nowadays magazines aren't really bought by 18 to 24-year-olds or 17 to 24-year-olds, so they didn't really know what to say about the product because they had nothing to compare it to. So if they didn't know what they were looking for, they can't offer me any feedback, can they? Despite this, I did get something really interesting out of this little session. The lack of feedback taught me how much the media industry is changing into the text that audiences like to engage with at the moment, and how important it is to use the right sort of advertising for your target audience. For an album digipack, you're probably better online with a Facebook advert. It's very eye-opening. Once I completed my magazine advert, I put it on my online survey form again, and I started to get some new feedback, although not very much of it, I think for the same reasons as before. People again didn't have much to say, other than it was professional, bold, colourful and eye-catching. These people who weren't my media peers, so it was fair enough that they couldn't really analyse it critically. And although all of my comments were positive, I think it kind of saddens me how it means my product wouldn't be able to reach my target audience if it was actually produced. Poor magazine advert, no one's going to get to see it. Overall, when looking back at all of my feedback throughout the whole of this project, I come to see how much it's actually taught me. First and foremost, I didn't realise how vital and important it was to get and listen to your audience feedback. My portfolio as a whole would have taken a very different turn if I didn't do this aspect of my research. I feel I may even take this knowledge and new skill set from conducting this primary research into later life. I think a part of me will now always consider the importance of consulting those around you when you're making decisions. And also, the feedback from my media peers focus group has taught me how valuable external inputs can be in seeing problems and little tweaks that you didn't quite notice yourself because you've become blind to them. And that was evaluation question 3. What have you learnt from your audience feedback? Thanks for listening.